I'm going to go over something a little bit difficult today. So I need y'all just hold your questions, just take notes. I'm going to go through it kind of slow. I'm not going to rush it. Give me the video.
There's the long-standing belief that in some police departments in this country, there's a conspiracy against young black Americans, and police officers are planting evidence against them to secure convictions. And now we know that for a fact, at least in the Dothan Police Department in Alabama, this is going on. The Alabama Justice Project, this NGO organization, has secured documents spurring from an internal affairs investigation. And it says that since the mid-90s, members of the Dothan, Alabama Police Department narcotics investigation have been planting drugs and weapons on young black men. The revelation came when a group of anonymous officers came forward, turning these documents and said, we cannot look the other way. It's really, really sad because there's another twist to this story that makes it even worse. The leadership of this group is suspected of being part of a neo-Confederate group, pretty much the KKK without a mask. And to know that this level of racism is ingrained in a police department, and for decades they have been protected by their superiors, and not only their superiors, but the district attorney, it's incredible.
It's despicable, and they have the proof. They secured these documents at an NGO in Canada. What does that say? That they don't even trust them in the U.S.? They're being handed over to DOJ as we speak, and you are absolutely right. So this goes back to 1996. John White was the chief of police in Dothan, Alabama at that time. He was receiving numerous complaints that young black men were having evidence planted on them to secure felony convictions, namely drugs and weapons. Not only that, he was targeting black men with clean records. They wanted to sully those records. And he not only ignored those complaints, but he instructed higher up officers to do the same. So this goes back a very long time. It involves a lot of people. And as you mentioned, even the district attorney at that time, Doug Valeska, is also complicit in these allegations. They're saying he was involved too.
Incredible to see that the police that is supposed to serve and protect is just finding these young black Americans without no criminal record to frame them and secure convictions. Thousands of people. Now, the only upside to this story is the fact that these documents are going to be available to all of these wrongfully convicted persons so they can use them in their fight to get these convictions removed. Now, what's going to happen to prevent police departments of engaging in this behavior in the future? It's incredible to see that it can go undercover for almost 2 decades without anyone saying anything about it.
Well, Loretta Lynch, the DOJ, is handling this now. It's going to the Civil Rights Division because these also constitutes, because they were targeting black men, it constitutes a hate crime along with being, all of those other issues going on. So transparency obviously is key to this, but let's just hope that they make an example out of all of these officers.
It is. A group of officers from the Dothan Police Department in Alabama has come forward as whistleblowers, saying that for decades, the police department, a group of the officers, have been planting drugs and weapons in black Americans to secure convictions.
Well, alrighty then. So, can we go to Psalms 94? And I want you, sis, to understand what we just saw. Because a lot of times, sisters get a bad rap, brothers get a bad rap too. Like if you look at some videos, many black women say a lot of black men ain't no damn good.
Exactly.
Well, some of them might not be, but there's a lot. What we just witnessed here. They said they were targeting black men with clean records.
Thank you. Because that's what I heard. My ears got open when I heard that. I wanted to ask the question, why?
Well, I'll give an example. Remember back in the day when we were younger, if you, let's say you were drinking on the street, or you jump a turnstile, or you might even had, not us, but had a little bit of weed. Those were not arrestable offenses. Now they are arrestable. Like when Giuliani came in, he changed everything. And a lot of police departments are looking for, this was the Gotham Police Department in Alabama, and they're planting evidence on black men. Remember, it came out in not Baltimore, Ferguson. They were looking for black men who had clean records to sully them, to sully their records, and it's a shame. And this is what the scriptures talk about here. Can we read this real quick? Psalms 94:20.
The book of Psalms, chapter 94 and verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee?
The throne of iniquity is America, the United States of America. Throne represents a kingdom, in case you didn't know. Throne represents kingdom. So shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee? The thee is the Most High. The thee is the Most High. Go ahead.
Which frameth mischief by a law.
See that? Which frameth mischief by a law. They create laws to destroy us. Okay? And if they don't find anything, we've just witnessed. Now, why won't CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, none of the major networks were airing this? None of them, not one. And that's by design. It's not because they don't know about it. It's by design.
They're all in cahoots together.
Exactly.
They all understand the program. They
Exactly.
understand the program. The problem is we don't understand the program.
Right.
The
We
majority
don't.
of us don't understand it. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Verse 21. They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous.
Meaning they gather themselves together against the Israelites. Go ahead.
And condemn the innocent blood.
And that's what we just witnessed. And condemn the innocent blood. Okay? Then people, black people have a problem with police officers. Now you know. If you didn't know why, this is a good. This is why. This is why. You can't have a corrupt, immoral people trying to enforce law, justice, and order. The two don't mix. It's like oil and water. But that's what we got going on. So now what can we do? What can we do? If we can't take arms up, which we can't, we ain't got enough. The only thing we can do is turn to the Most High. Everybody understand that? The Most High is our power. The Most High is our God. Can we get that in Zephaniah 4 and 6?
Zechariah chapter 4 and verse 6. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, This is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, Not by might.
See, that's what I wanted to get to. Not by might. Because many times, like the scripture says, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. You get mad. You hear things like that. It infuriates me when you hear stuff like this. And you know it's the truth. You know it's a reality. The Bible said what? Read that again. Not by what?
Not by might.
But God comes back and says not by might, meaning we're not supposed to take up arms, our limited arms that we got against a nation of violence that was built upon violence. Go ahead.
Nor by power.
Nor by power. Go ahead.
But by my spirit, saith the Lord of hosts.
The Most High has always given us the key. It's by His Spirit. We have to use His words to overcome the situation that we're in. His words. Some of us will get locked up. Some of us may even be put to death for His word. But that's the way the scriptures have it written out. And we can't be afraid because there is a resurrection. Give me that in Ecclesiastes 7:7. Give me that one. Come on.
Ecclesiastes 7 verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. A dummy ain't really too mad. A dummy will get mad and do something dumb. That's not us in here. Those of us who repent of our sins, we are not. Surely oppression makes an idiot mad. That's not us. Right. It says a wise man. Right. So a wise man, we're the wise men. We're supposed to organize, get ourselves together, get our lives, our minds, our souls, our families, our communities together. That's our objective. That's our goal. Read that again, Captain.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
Right, a gift destroyeth the heart. They will give Negroes big jobs, big positions to stay hushed up. You mean Don Lemon don't know about this? You mean these black journalists never heard about this? They got a brother bringing it out who can barely speak English. Right. He know about it, right. But these black journalists, right. Famous, right. Don't know nothing. You got to be kidding me. You've got to be insane. Well, alrighty then. We're going to talk about your favorite country and mine, our favorite nation. Give me Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51 and verse 6. I want y'all to all pay close attention. Bear with me.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 51 and verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul.
Real quick, let's see about Babylon. Get me Zechariah 2, 6 and 7 real quick for me. Babylon. Babylon.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 2 and verse 6. Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north.
So what you want to highlight is land of the north. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord, for I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heaven.
So although we are spread abroad upon the four winds of heaven, he's specifying the land of the north. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord, deliver thyself, O Zion,
So Zion would be where? Go ahead.
that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon.
That dwelleth. So Zion, the Israelites, particularly Judah, would dwell. Dwell means live with the daughter of Babylon. Where's that? The land of the north, meaning North America. That's what Zechariah 2, verse 6 and 7 is revealing. Does everyone understand that? Let's go back to Jeremiah 51 and 6.
Jeremiah 51 and verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon.
So Babylon is referring to the land of the north, meaning North America. Read.
And deliver every man his soul.
So when it says flee, it's not saying pack your bags and run, head for the hills. It says deliver every man his what, brothers? His soul. So this is a spiritual fleeing, okay? Not a physical one. Read.
Be not cut off in her iniquity.
The issue is, the Most High's issue with us, he does not want us to get cut off or put to death in the iniquity of Babylon. Because Babylon has established iniquities that is meant for our people to follow, such as Halloween, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, Christmas, New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, Valentine's Day, Labor Day, President's Day, so forth and so on. Abortion Day. Every day is abortion day.
Yep.
Okay, all these things is the iniquities the Most High said he does not want us to get cut off in. Well, brother, the Christmas is coming up, and my wife said it's for the children. You brothers that listen to the dumb sister that says that, shame on you. Women, not these women in here, not them. Not the righteous women listening online either, but dumb black and Latin women who tell you Christmas is for the children. That's a lie. They love the white man. That's what it is. It's not for the children. They love the white man. Come on.
For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense.
Recompense means judgment. Recompense means payback. Write that down. Go ahead.
Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand.
So North America, which is the capital of Babylon, go ahead,
hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand,
right,
that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad.
So now let's pause there. It says Babylon's like a golden cup. Let me explain that to you. A lot of you third world country brothers, you know what that means. You hear about America in your little island and think America streets is paved with gold. That's why the Bible in Revelation calls America Babylon the what? The Great, meaning it's the greatest country on the planet Earth. Believe it or not, that's why the Kemetic community ain't leaving here, going down to dusty Egypt. Who want to live there? You got Egypt on the dusty side of the world, then you got Babylon the Great. I'm staying in Babylon. I don't know about y'all. That's why ain't none of them leaving. They talk about Africa, Africa, Africa. Don't let these Negroes fool y'all about Africa. Ain't none of them moving over there. They're coming right here. You got Africa trying to get over here. Where we at? Verse 7 again, I'm sorry.
Verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine.
Right. Let's get to drunken. Micah chapter 2 and verse 11. I need y'all to pay close attention.
The book of Micah, chapter 2 and verse 11. If a man walking in the spirit and falsehood do lie.
Do what?
Do lie.
Spirit of falsehood do lie. Go ahead.
Saying, I will prophesy unto thee of wine and of strong drink.
I will prophesy to thee of wine and strong drink. Go ahead.
He shall even be the prophet of this people.
So here, the prophet Micah is comparing wine to falsehood and strong drink. Everybody see that? He is comparing wine to falsehood and strong drink. So when we go back now to Jeremiah 51, because it might have confused us.
Jeremiah 51 and 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine.
So her wine represents falsehood and lies. Falsehood and lies. The nations, meaning all the nations, have followed North America's falsehoods and lies. Go ahead.
Therefore, the nations are mad.
Meaning crazy. Meaning crazy. These nations are crazy. So, and you know why that's important? When you get Israelites to say, flee, like we just read in verse 6, flee out of the midst of Babylon, they say, let's run to another country. Brothers, sisters, all the nations are mad. All of them are under the influence of North America. Every nation on earth is under the influence. If you that's Saudi Arabia, look at how the Saudi Arabians dress with a three-piece suit and tie. You think that's their custom? They're all under North America's influence in some shape, form, or fashion. Let me help you out with some words of. Well, I'll get that. I'll give you that in a little bit. Read on.
Verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her. Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed.
So now he says Babylon is suddenly fallen. So therefore the nations are mad, meaning crazy and angry. So the nations somehow, some shape or form, as we're going to find, is going to retaliate on this place because they've realized that give me some words for wine. Give me some easier words. Wine represents falsehood and lies. But America does not say to Saudi Arabia, take my falsehood and my lies. They don't say that. What are some of the words they use? Take my democracy. Take my religions. Take my policies. Everybody understand that? Then you gotta learn to substitute what the words that is here for words that are common today. Because people in the church read that, I don't get it. I don't understand. Read that again.
Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her.
So now Jeremiah sees in a vision the destruction of Babylon. Go ahead.
Take balm for her pain. If so be she may be healed.
Go ahead.
We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed.
You can't heal Babylon. There's no healing for this place. Go ahead.
Forsake her. And let us go everyone into his own country.
So Jeremiah sees when this place is destroyed, everybody's going to leave and go back to their own land. Go ahead.
For her judgment reacheth unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies.
Come on.
The Lord hath brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord our God.
So we got to declare in Zion. So the word that we bring forth is not for all nations. It's only for Zion, which means Israel. Go ahead.
Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his devices against Babylon.
So when it talks about raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, this is a metaphor. During the time of Jeremiah, yes, number one, he is seeing metaphorically about Babylon under Nebuchadnezzar. But he's also making reference to the last Babylon, which is in the land of the north. That's why I precepted it with Zechariah 2, 6 and 7. Read that again.
Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, for his device is against Babylon, to destroy it.
Go ahead.
Because it is the vengeance of the Lord, the vengeance of his temple.
Come on.
Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon.
So the standard in Babylon is the Holy Bible. That's the standard we are commanded to set up. Read.
Make the watch strong.
The watch is you brothers coming in. That's why you can't be in this truth. Weakling, effeminate. I'm just confused. God can't deal with you. You, brother, well, I can't come because my wife said no. God, you're not the strong God's dealing with. You, okay, brother, you go in the corner somewhere and play marbles. God can't use you. My mama said I can't go. Then you just ain't for you.
Right, exactly. And the Most High put some trials on you to see if you're going to fight to stay there. To see if you're going to put the word of the Most High first.
Read again.
Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. For the Lord hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon.
Come on.
O thou that dwellest upon many waters.
Meaning Babylon has embassies, bases in every country. They are everywhere. So just like ancient Babylon was like that, this last Babylon is the same exact way. Go ahead.
Abundant in treasures.
Oh, some of you are fooled by CNN that says the deficit of America. What is that? What's the word?
3 trillion.
That ticket that be going. America owes
National debt, they call it.
The national debt. Don't fall for that. God says this is the richest country on the earth. You and I might be broke, but believe me, this country, God said, no, they ain't broke. Do y'all realize they robbed the wealth of nations? Check your history. They robbed the wealth of nations. Do y'all realize they print money? Hey, I'm short a couple of grand here. I'll just print some more for you. That's what they do. Come on.
O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness.
Right, the measure of their covetousness. How covetous are they? So covetous, they coveted the moon. They claimed, they claimed the moon for us. No. They claimed the moon, not for all races, not for all people, but for your friendly neighborhood white man, the United States of America. When they put that dusty flag up there, they claimed it as theirs. That's you can't get no more covetous than that. We used to regular covetous. You steal my wallet. No. You took my quarter. God says, no, not this man. He does far beyond. He coveted the moon. Now he's sending satellites to Mars. He said, we got to get there.
Could he read verse 13 again?
Verse 13. O thou that dwellest upon many waters.
The thou is Babylon the Great. He says, O thou that dwelleth upon many waters. Now we know this is talking about the nations, right? The waters. But literally, look at the waters. Who controls the waters? America with its battleships. Y'all understand that? They run the territory of everything. Nobody, how in the world you going to be over here and you're going to set an embargo way across the other side of the earth and it stands? This man controls the whole deal. And then it says abundant in treasures. Whose treasures does America have? Everybody's. Everybody's treasures, because they set their military bases overseas to take the wealth away from everybody and bring it over here.
Then, you know how bad it gets? They set up the World Bank. America set up something called, y'all could Google it, the World Bank. And the IMF, I think it's called International Monetary Fund, Washington, D.C. They own, let a nation, any country get out of order, they press a button and freeze all their accounts. There's no buying or trading with Iran. That's what they do. This place is abundant in treasure. People be fooled. No, the deficit is just so high. Read on.
The Lord of hosts hath sworn by himself, saying,
Watch this.
Surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee.
You know what a caterpillar does to a tree? It eats it from within. So God says, I'm going to fill Babylon with caterpillars, meaning people that's going to eat and destroy from within. Them your terrorists. That's your Allah Akbars.
Exactly. The caterpillars. Where are these caterpillars coming from? It's coming from the other nations. The verse before you told you where they're coming from. It says, O thou that dwelleth upon many waters, abundant in treasures. Why? Because Babylon the Great has stolen the treasures from these other nations. Now the nations are mad as hell. They say, you know what? We're coming back. We're coming over to your land. We're going to be caterpillars and we're going to kill you for taking what we took.
Right.
That's what's going on here.
That's the bottom of verse 7. Therefore,
the nations are mad.
Right, because of all the corruption that America has done, the nations are mad. They are those caterpillars. And so we are pissed off. Look what they did to our country. Everybody understand that?
Right. Left us sitting on the ground.
Exactly. Get Revelation 17.
Revelation chapter 17. And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
I will show thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Now, you know what's funny about that? When you look at various commentaries and you examine what they're saying about the scriptures, they will tell you that the great whore is the Roman Catholic Church. This is what you hear out there in the world. Now, real quick, do me a favor. Go back to Jeremiah.
Jeremiah 51 verse 12. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes. For the Lord hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. O thou that dwellest upon many waters.
So who's dwelling upon many waters, brothers? Babylon. Babylon the Great. Let's go back to Revelation. Right, not the Catholic Church. It's telling you Babylon. Let's go back now. Let's go back to Revelation 17.
Revelation 17 and verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore.
So the vials that the angels had, you read about in the previous chapters, which lead up to the destruction. Read on.
That sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Now, we just read that in Jeremiah 51. And it said because of that, can we get that real quick? Go back. Jeremiah 51. Might have been verse 7.
Verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad.
Now, let's go back to Revelation 17 and verse 2.
Revelation 17 verse 2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication.
Stop. Now, right now, it uses the word fornication. So automatically, some of you might be thinking sexual immorality. Now, that is the first understanding, the first meaning of fornication is sexual immorality. But the country is not running around literally having, well, they are, but, it ain't talking about them running around sexing. Get me Wisdom of Solomon 14:12.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and verse 12.
This is going to explain the fornication that Revelation 17 is talking about.
For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
So, was that it?
And the invention of them, the corruption of life.
So, you have something called spiritual fornication, which deals with idolatry, which deals with the corruption of life. So, again, America's not running around saying, hey, let me have sex with you. Saudi Arabia, let me have sex with you. Hey, Africa, let me have sex. No. It's talking about spiritual fornication. Give me Colossians 2 and 8.
I remember the Gulf War when America went over to Iraq and they were setting their bases up over there. And the people in Iraq was like, listen, we don't want your army men coming into the town because he said that the way that y'all live is going to affect the way we are because y'all believe in homos and all that other stuff. He said, we don't deal with that over here. Although America was supposed to be, quote unquote, over there for the liberation of Iraq from Iran. Y'all remember that whole, some of y'all remember that anyway. They said, no, we don't like the way your men act.
Right. Well, they was raping the women over there and all of that. Fornicating. Come on.
Colossians 2 and 8. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
So the reason we want that is because the wine of her fornication, which is spiritual idolatry, God here in Colossians 2 says, beware lest any man spoil you from what?
Through philosophy.
Through philosophy. Go ahead.
And vain deceit.
Vain deceit means lies.
After the tradition of men.
After the tradition of men. The main philosopher of men is the so-called white man. He's the one influencing everybody on the planet Earth. Go ahead.
After the rudiments of the world. And not after Christ.
His philosophy has nothing to do with Christ. I know you might have thought that the Constitution was founded or based upon the Bible. It's not. I know you think America's a God-fearing society. It's not. I know I hurt somebody's feelings saying this stuff right now. Freedom of religion, which one of the amendments? Freedom of religion, I forget. Which one is it? Is it the second? You know I don't remember. First, freedom of speech. You got freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Those things are not God ordained. Now, we know the Most High used that to allow us to bring the truth out so that they can't stifle us. But it is not of God. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Back to Revelation 17. What verse you at?
We're in verse 2.
Go ahead.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication.
So where are you going to go? If the kings of the earth are committing spiritual fornication, dealing with America's philosophies, where are you going to run to that America has no influence? Let me give you another one. I'm going to show you another word for wine and for fornication. I'm going to help you out with some biblical words. Daniel. Get me Daniel chapter 8. It's talking about Antiochus Epiphanes. But I want y'all to see the word that is used for when he tried to influence all nations under Greek society, when he tried to Hellenize everybody. Hellenize is another word for assimilate.
And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
So, brothers, I'm see who's thinking. What is the word in that verse that showed he tried to influence all nations under his Hellenizing of Greek culture? It's one word.
Shalom, Bishop.
Shalom.
Is policy?
Yes, that's the word. That is the word. His policy. When you look in America today, they use that word. That is a current word. The political agendas of America is called their policies. Okay, whether it's an economic policy, whether it is a political one, whether it's financial, whether it's socioeconomic, it's some shape, form, or fashion. Read it again, Daniel 8.
Daniel 8 and verse 25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
Like he says, shall cause craft to prosper. Now that's going to an Antiochus Epiphany, but that's not who I'm dealing with. I just want y'all to see that what Antiochus Epiphanes did, America's following suit today. Okay, let me give some more. First Maccabees chapter 1. And let's start at 40. I just want a few verses. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 41 down. I think we might just go to 43, I think.
First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 41.
Now, this goes in more detail what Antiochus Epiphanes did. The Greeks, when they came in power and rulership, what they did to the nations. Go ahead.
Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
That all should, does this sound familiar, brothers? America says that we should all be one people. Go ahead.
And everyone should leave his laws.
Everyone should leave his laws. Go ahead.
So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
All the heathen nations said, okay, we agree with the Greeks. They're in power. We're going to follow what they say. Go ahead.
Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
Now, the Israelites consented. Now, notice it's using the word religion there. That religion is still his politics. Understand that. Like they try to separate church and state. That's very difficult to do because the two always go hand in hand. That's what it was contradicting because it was always meant as one. Democracy, with a unification as one people, is the same as Christianity. Don't they use Christianity, John 3:16? Don't they use that? For God so loved the world, in God we trust. It's the same ideology. It's the same policy. Everybody understand what I'm saying? What you got at though?
Something else. That was about the Greeks, right? Go to 1 Maccabees 8 about the Romans in verse 4. It says the exact same thing. The Greeks and Romans are the same people. It's going to say it's going to say what the policy does.
1 Maccabees chapter 8 and verse 4. And that by their policy and patience they had conquered all the place, though it were very far from them.
Stop. It says their policy and by their patience, meaning they conquered them over time. They infiltrated and took over time. But the policies were used to overthrow people and conquer them. Read on. It's going to say it.
And the kings also that came against them from the uttermost part of the earth, till they had discomfited them and given them a great overthrow, so that the rest did give them tribute
Before again from the beginning. I missed the part. Verse 4.
And that by their policy and patience they had conquered all the place, though it were very far from them.
Stop. That's the U.S. embassies. That goes into being in all seas. In Revelation 17, they're everywhere. What's that? Jeremiah 51, and in Revelations also. In all the waters. It's the same thing. It's as though we're very far from them. They would spread their policies everywhere and not be in the country. They have U.S. embassies everywhere. Why? Based upon the policies they put there and the patience it took them to slowly infiltrate and overthrow the country that they're in. Same thing. The Romans did the exact same thing. Outpost, right? It's called outpost. Thank you. Yep.
Jump down, stay right there. Don't go nowhere. I want y'all to see the devil in full power. Jump down to verse 11.
Verse 11. It was told him besides how they destroyed and brought under their dominion all other kingdoms and isles that at any time resisted them.
Doesn't this sound like America? Anybody that resists America, they will bring them down. Go ahead.
Verse 12. But with their friends and such as relied upon them, they kept amity. Amity. And that they had conquered kingdoms both far and nigh, insomuch as all that heard of their name were afraid of them.
Are people afraid of America? You better believe it. Watch the next verse.
Also that whom they would help to a kingdom, those reigned.
You ever notice, remember in Haiti, when they put Aristide in power? Then Aristide said, I don't want democracy. Then they kicked Aristide out so much, and they even, exiled him from going back. Right, they kidnapped him in the middle of the night and said, you got to go, nigga. And don't come back now, y'all. You hear? That's what they do. In Egypt, they put their man, and when that man turned against, guess what? Saddam Hussein was a man, America's man. He worked for the CIA. Noriega. One other, the tall ones, what's his name?
Osama bin Laden.
Osama bin Laden. Read that verse again. Watch this.
Also that whom they would help to a kingdom, those reigned. And whom again they displace. Finally, that they were greatly exalted.
America is following the same pattern as the Greeks and the Romans. This is another reason they took the Apocrypha from the Bible. If you leave it in, people will see us as we are.
Bishop, you remember even though in Syria, you remember they have a bunch of robbers there was supplies and with guns until Russia stopped bombing out. Then America got mad at Russia for destroying these robbers because that was the one America trying to raise up against the government. But Russia see that because Russia signed a treaty with them. If anybody trying to fight them, it will fight with them. So when they agree, Russia helping the American, Russia start to bomb those little clique. There was American supplies.
Verse 15, 16 also.
Verse 15. Moreover, how they had made for themselves a senate house.
Does America have the Senate? Yes, it does. Go ahead.
Wherein 320 men sat in council daily.
America has 100. Go ahead.
Consulting always for the people, to the end they might be well ordered.
Next verse.
And that they committed their government to one man every year.
Well, now, in America has it every, 4 years. That's called the president. Here it's called the Caesar. But emperor. But today it's called a president. Go ahead.
Who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one. And that there was neither envy nor emulation among them.
Later on, it became...
Hold on, Brother Aton. Read that thing again. Read it again. You skipped something. Read it again.
And that they committed their government...
Go to the verse before that.
Moreover, how they had made for themselves a senate house.
Remember, they made for themselves a senate house. What was the senate house to do? Go ahead.
Wherein 320 men sat in council daily.
You see, those are the one who give the president rulership. You understand? So that cannot go against. You understand? Whoever that set up, everybody agree. You see that? It's telling you it's the people who set him up. It's not your what is that? When you vote? It's not your vote. It's not your public vote. It's telling you who's setting him up. Yep. Go ahead.
Consulting always for the people, to the end they might be well ordered, and that they committed their...
Yeah, hold on. To the end they might be well ordered. You remember what the bishop said? You think America, that dumb, he going to set a guy he don't know nothing about? That means that the government watched that man grow and said, this is for our benefit. Let's set him up. You remember that?
You mean the board elected him?
Yes, that's why they said well ordered. They watched that dude and said, this our guy right here. You understand? It's giving it to you. Go ahead.
And that they committed their government to one man every year, who ruled over all their country, and that all were obedient to that one, and that there was neither envy nor emulation among them.
Later on, there became envy and emulation among them later on. Like America today is the same thing. It's corrupt and evil and all kind of infiltrations going on. It's the same thing.
Exactly. Revelation 17, verse 2 again. So we went through all that to show you what the wine of their fornication was, which is their spiritual fornication, their philosophies, their policies. Verse 2 again.
Revelation chapter 17 and verse 2. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Right. The inhabitants of the earth is all the people. They're drunk with it. Now everybody believes that same sex is good. And if you speak against it, people want to curse you out. Okay, read on.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
So now this woman sitting on a scarlet-colored beast. Go to chapter 12 about this. The word scarlet just means red. Red beast. That's what it's talking about.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
So now who can tell me why it's red? Go back to Revelation 17 and 3 again.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast.
Why is it saying scarlet-colored beast? Why is it saying that? Why is it calling it that? See, somebody might get simple and go, but, because this is what I've heard. A lot of times you talk to like Jehovah's Witnesses, that's just you sharpening your sword. You know when you first come in truth, you want them to knock on your door.
We used to look for them. We used to run out the pastor. There they go, right there. Let's go. Let's run up to them. I used to love that, man. I used to love that.
So you got to think about the questions that they pose to you. Well, brother, it says beast. Give me that in Ecclesiastes 3:18.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 18. I said in mine heart concerning the state of the sons of men, that God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts.
That they themselves are beasts. So when you read, that's why I said when you read Revelation, the majority of the book is a metaphor. You got to be, if you've never read Genesis all the way up, you'll be lost in Revelation. What is all these metaphors? You got to put the pieces of the puzzle together. This beast represents man. What man? It's a red man. What red man? Genesis 25. Let's go there.
Genesis 25 verse 25. And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment. And they called his name Esau.
And they called his name Esau, which in Hebrew is Aishah, which means wasted away. Wasted away he. Read.
Verse 26. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them.
So now we read that about Esau. We read that. Okay, Esau is red. Esau is red. Esau is red. Get me 2 Ezra 6 and 9. It says Jacob, and they didn't mention Jacob's color because Jacob looked like everybody else from the time of Adam. 2 Ezra chapter 6 and 9. Reading.
2 Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
So the last kingdom before the Israelites ruled, God is telling all of us, would be Esau. So don't let nobody tell you Japheth is ruling. You got these dumb Israelites. Japheth is ruling. What if it's Japheth? We got another 1,000 years then. The hell is this? Stop listening to these dumb Israelites with their kufis.
The prophecies are too clear. The prophecies are all lined up, linking together, that is pointing straight to this man.
Soon as I see an Israelite with a kufi and some titsits, I walk away because they're dumb as hell. You're telling me by your visual you're dumb as hell. What is it called? Titsits? Titsits? Zits? So I said, you can't, I said, listen, you can't be that dumb. He said, the white man is Japheth, brother. Where does it say Japheth is the last kingdom on earth ruling? It don't say that. Where does it say Japheth would go to the moon? It don't say that. Where does it say Japheth? Here's one. Here you go. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, right? What chapter was that? Genesis what? Genesis 10. You got Genesis 9. You got Genesis 8, right? Right in there it talks about Shem, Ham, and Japheth. From Genesis 1 to Genesis 10, what color is mentioned about people on earth? What scripture is that? Genesis 2:7. Can we read that, Captain Isaac? Shem, Ham, and Japheth descend from Genesis 2, verse 7. These knuckleheads out there.
Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life.
So in case you didn't know it, brothers, the dust of the ground is different shades of brown, from a very dark brown to a light brown. Brown. Now, the next change in color comes when, brothers? Genesis 25:25. That was way after Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So stop letting people fool you. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. They tell me some, yeah, and it doesn't matter if you're pink, green, purple. There ain't no people those colors.
Exactly.
There's only red people and brown people.
There you
That's
go.
it.
You hear Esau, white folk, watch this. White people say, I'm olive complexioned. Olives comes in 3 colors, black, brown, and green. So which one are they?
None.
None of them. Stop. And they use words to deceive. You'll get the dumb Negro that go, yeah, he's olive. You're an idiot.
Hey, they use that term on my job talking about they were looking for somebody olive colored.
See that?
I call them back and say, I don't know what the hell you talking about.
You're looking for a green man running down the street.
Yeah, Bishop, you see, they say color doesn't matter. They go in the scripture when you read Revelation, the red, you looking for the color of the man. It is red when you read in Revelation. God is giving you from Genesis 25:25, you looking for identity of a man. So when you go to Revelation, you have to look out who is that man by going back to the precept Genesis 25. So if color doesn't matter, why would God put the red there to give us a guideline when we read Revelation and say red? What the hell is red? Why would he put red there? Because there's another red mentioned in Genesis 25:25.
You see that Manasseh sign up, the tribe Manasseh? See that on the side there? That's an olive color there. I ain't seen nobody that look like that. And the Negro told me some, yeah, he's olive. The next Negro that say that to me, I'm going to say, well, show it to me. Point out an olive color man. I want to see him.
Now, back to Revelation 17. Back to Revelation 17, verse 3 again.
Revelation 17 and verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast.
So the scarlet-colored beast, brothers, is who? Esau. Go ahead.
Full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
So now we want to talk about the woman for a second. Who is this woman? Jump down to the last verse that explains the woman.
Verse 18. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
So this woman represents the greatest. The great city is still talking about Babylon the Great. That's what it's talking about. It ain't, the Catholic Church is not ruling over the kings of the earth. Don't let these dumb Christians fool you. And you know where that comes from? Protestants against Catholics. Remember the war the white men had with themselves? The Protestants, they protested against the Catholic Church. That's when you had all them strange doctrines about, oh, since we mad at you, now that's you. You that woman, because we don't like you. Get out of here. No, that's all of them. Back up to verse 3 again.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Who can name the 7 heads? The 7 heads are the 7 great Edomite empires. I just gave you a hint right there. I want them named in order. You know, I looked it up last night. I'm playing around. I said, let me see what the churches say. They had Pope Pius VI. They have all these different. I couldn't stop laughing. And all them people dead.
So they actually changed, because I've seen different names before. Yeah, they had different names before. Now they done came up with a whole new group.
A whole new group of dead white folks. Where we at? No, somebody was going to answer the question.
Greece, Rome, Spain, France.
You got it? You got it now?
France, Germany, Russia, Great Britain.
Very good. Okay. Greece, Rome, Spain, France, Germany, Russia, and Great Britain. Very good. So now, watch this. Read it again.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Who knows the 10 horns?
That's the EU, or also known as the 10 Common Markets.
Yep. Write this down. Write this down. Write this down. Write this down. Belgium. You see, I wrote it down because I ain't memorizing this stuff. Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Denmark, Ireland, United Kingdom, and Greece. Those are the 10 common markets. Now there's more, but those are the first main ones from 1957 to 1981. Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Denmark, Ireland, United Kingdom, and Greece. Those, now later on in this lesson, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna pull it all up and verify exactly what I said. So now, so how does he know that? How does he know that? Back to where we at? Revelation 17?
Revelation 17 and verse 4.
Yes.
And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Let me ask a question. It says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet colored and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. Where did she get these items from? How did she become decked? Way in the back. You. The brother, and right in front of the brother with the glasses. The one that's turning around. Stand up. There you go.
Shalom.
Shalom.
They got all of that through slavery.
That's good. That's good. What else? He says through slavery. Slavery of who?
Oh, the Israelites.
Okay, that was part of it. That's how they got their money to get their things and all that. A little bit more. Where else did they get them from?
The other nations, like robbing the other nations.
There you go. I'll put all that go together. All that go together.
Exactly. Now, I'm going to further prove, I got to prove to you that this woman, it says she was what? A golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornications. I'm going to further show. Now, we went to the last verse to explain that woman represents the greatest city, it said city, which reigns over all the kings of the earth. I'm going to show you that's America. Get me Second Esdras. Second Esdras, chapter 11. Now, the key what we want to look at, because it said that she was full of what? Abominations. Is that what we just read?
Yes, sir.
Okay, full of it. Second Esdras, you got it for me, Cap?
Yes, yes, sir.
Chapter 11, I want verse 39.
Verse 39.
Yeah, now, when we read this, I want y'all to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Second Ezra chapter 11, verse 39 down, starts with Rome and leads to America. I'm going to say it again so nobody gets confused. Second Ezra chapter 11, verse 39 down, begins with Rome and extends to America. America is an extension of ancient Rome. That's why earlier in the lesson, we went through Maccabees. This showed you that everything Greece and Rome did with their Senate, with their president, one leader, one Caesar, America followed the same thing. Everybody understand that? Okay, let's begin.
Second Ezra, chapter 11 and verse 39. Art not thou it that remainest of the 4 beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them?
So the 4 beasts that Esdras is making reference to is prophesied by who? What book? Very good. Daniel chapter 7. We're not going to it though. Daniel talked about the 4th beast and he never described the 4th beast. He just said it was different than all the beasts. Esdras, real quick. 2nd Esdras 12 and 11 to prove that.
2nd Ezra, chapter 12 and verse 11. The eagle whom thou sawest come up from the sea is the kingdom which was seen in the vision of thy brother Daniel.
Y'all heard that? That's Daniel 7. The fourth kingdom. Daniel never described what it looked like. Ezra says it's an eagle. What is the symbol of America? What was the symbol of Rome? Very good. So, 2nd Ezra chapter 11. We're in verse 40.
Verse 40. And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness.
And in case y'all didn't know, this ain't talking about the Roman Catholic Church. The eagle is not representing the Roman Catholic Church. Go ahead.
And over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression.
I know you like to think that America is a Christian society. God says they rule with much wicked oppression. Go ahead.
And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
With what?
With deceit.
I know y'all think that America is very honest. That they got these lands through voting. That's how they got Central. You didn't know that's how they got Central America? Through voting? That's how they got South America and North America. You forgot that, right? I did forget. You thought they was voting and people said, yeah, let's vote. That's how they got it. You vote. The slaves was voted to come over here. Voting.
Y'all don't remember that class in school?
Y'all don't remember that? Dang.
And this also proves no matter where you go, America's there. You can flee if you want. If you want to flee, literally, it says over the whole compass of the whole earth. So wherever you go, America's there. Where you going to run to? America's over there. America's over here. You ain't going nowhere without America being there.
Read on.
Verse 41. For the earth hast thou not judged with truth. For thou hast afflicted the meek.
That's us.
Thou hast hurt the peaceable.
That's us too.
Thou hast loved liars.
That's their allies in the other nations.
And destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit.
Go ahead.
And hast cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. Therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. The highest also hath looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled.
And his, what's that word? Abominations is fulfilled. Remember it said, this woman, which reigns over the kings of the earth, it said she was filled with abominations. Did we just read that?
That's exactly right. It said the same thing in Jeremiah too. It says, thy end is come.
Now, let's read the next verse.
Verse 45. And therefore appear no more, thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body.
Now he's going to explain why.
That all the earth may be refreshed.
I know you want to bring Susie into the kingdom with you. Susie can't come. God said, if you want world peace, this nation's, that's the eagle, must go.
Bishop.
That's too big of a pill for people to swallow. That's why they'll jump. You're a racist. I'm reading the Bible. It said, read verse 46 again.
That all the earth may be refreshed.
Read 45 and 4. Read it together. You got to read them together.
And therefore appear no more, thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers.
This is America and her allies. France, Germany, Russia. All of her allies. Go ahead.
Nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body.
Do you know what it means when it says, nor all thy vain body? Do y'all know how deep that goes? All of them. Every last. Y'all say goodbye to Miss Laura. Go ahead.
That all the earth may be refreshed.
That all the earth may be refreshed. Go ahead.
And may return.
And may return to the way it was from the beginning. Go ahead.
Being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her.
Y'all see that? See, y'all don't know that people have not learned this Bible. They have not learned this Bible. You ain't bringing Susie. You ain't bringing Miss McGillicuddy. They ain't coming in. Some of y'all too young to know about Miss McGillicuddy.
Right.
What you got?
See, this Bible is beautiful because all of the scriptures that the bishop has brought out is going backwards and forwards. When we was reading verse 44, that parallels back with Jeremiah 51 and 13. I'm going to just read it real quick, Bishop. Just right on it. And 2 Ezra 11 and 44 said, the highest also have looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. In Jeremiah 51 and 13, it says, O thou that dwelleth upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. It's saying the same thing when it says, and the measure, in other words, their sins have reached up to the Most High. Measure of thy covetousness, meaning the measure of the Most High had enough. He don't need to hear any more evil from me. It's time to judge you now. Y'all see that? All right. That was it.
Also, real quick, I don't want to forget it. In verse 42, when it says, "The afflicted the meek and hurt the peaceable and love liars," that goes back to the news report earlier, where it said for 20 years they let that stuff go on.
Since the 90s.
Since the 90s, for 20 years. So that goes back to them loving liars and afflicting the meek and giving innocent brothers and sisters records, planting drugs on them. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
You brought me back to a question that I wanted to ask. I asked the question of why is it that they're going after those brothers
who have clean records.
With clean records. That's what I wanted to get to. With the clean records, nobody really answered it. Why is it they're targeting? Because I heard it clearly. Why? And we read another scripture that backed it up. When you read about come from the north, the one about Judah.
What I was going to say was, if you destroy the elite, you can, or destroy the head, the body will fall at the same time. So brothers without records, if their look sullied, then it actually paints a bad picture for all Israel.
Right. It makes it harder because we look for a clean person to follow, someone who has an impeccable record. By messing them up, it somewhat taints the message. That's what they want to do, destroy the leadership.
Well,
go ahead.
Another thing I want all y'all to pick up on that, still back with your point, is that if you sully a man's record by giving him felony charges with drug possession and weapons possessions, it ostracizes him from what they call voting and jobs. So if the man is hindered from getting employment to feed his family, what is he likely to do? Turn to what? Crime. It's a trick bag. Give him all records, mess him up. Even if he got a college degree, once he gets felonies, jobs are going to go, no, we don't want to hire him. Then he has no way to make money to feed his wife and his kids. He's going to turn to drugs, robbery, or something of that nature. Then he say, see, Harry, you was worried about you ain't going to get your raise. Lock that nigga up right there. See what he's doing? It's a never-ending circle. Everybody understand what I'm saying? It's a trick bag.
Also, they can't change their name. You have a felony, they ever make it hard to change your name as well. That's a part of it also. And when it says love liars, that goes into your Columbus Day, your Abraham Lincoln Day, your Washington, your Thanksgiving. That's all loving liars. That's Mount Rushmore. That's loving the liars. It's the same thing.
Elder, can I bring up one point? Mm-hmm. Also, when we read in verse 44 where it says his abomination is fulfilled, right? The abomination, what that's going into also, that's going into his policies that we read early on. All right, we read in Revelation 17, it says, all nations are drink of the cup of her abominations. All right, meaning her policies. All right, we just read right here, it says that your abomination is fulfilled. All right, what is that going into when it said the abomination is fulfilled? I want to explain it. I ain't going to, but it's going into, when you read the scripture, it says, a man shall not lie down with another man as he lie with a woman. That's an abomination. You understand? That's written in Leviticus 20:13, and also it's written in Revelation 11 and 8. All right, so that had to be fulfilled. Obama had to came in to be a president, and he had to make that law. You understand? Even when you go back in the early 1940s, women never used to wear pants. All right? That's an abomination when women wearing pants. If you go in these Arab countries, these East Indian countries, the women over there, some of them still to this day don't wear pants.
Our grandparents, they never wore pants. So that's another abomination. And all these things is policies. Because when you go into these other countries, guess what? In the West Indian Islands, a lot of these, that was against homosexuality. A lot of these rappers here in America and the black community was against homosexuality. But you go in these other countries, they promote it. Why? Because America pushed them policies on them. They push it on the Jamaicans, the reggae artists. They tell them, listen, you all can't come up here and perform and do no performance, no shows. And that's where they make their money when they come and they tour America. They say, you all can't come up here and do that unless you all stop singing about homosexuality.
Like Buju Banton.
Yeah, so that's what they do. So all of these things is the abomination with all the policies that America is pushing on the other nations that they're accepting. Right, the same thing.
Back to Revelation 17:4.
Revelation 17, verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand.
You got to imagine what John is seeing. Why did the Most High have this woman decked? Notice it says decked with stones and pearls. If you ever look at the countries, particularly America, let's say, I don't know how many of you ever flown in an airplane. Look, when you look down, what do you see? What does it look like? It looks like pearls, diamonds, which is merely the lights that stay on all night. Other countries, they shut that electricity off. Some of your third world country brothers, y'all know what I'm talking about. No electricity a certain time of night. Cut it off. But America, it's from sun up to sundown, and when you look down, it looks like pearls. It looks like diamonds scattered down there, which is merely the lights, the energy that's coming forth.
Yeah, Bishop, especially when you come in at nighttime. When you coming for JFK, you like, damn, I went the lotto. If you come from the island, you say, damn, that's the money tree. You say, that's the money tree.
You feel like you're flying into the kingdom of heaven?
Oh, man, that's the money tree.
Come on, Cap.
Verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
That's her policies. Go ahead.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great.
So he's telling you what this woman represents. Mystery, Babylon the Great. And why is it a mystery? It's a mystery because nobody would ever believe that the greatest evil on earth is this country right here. It's a mystery. People know, no, not the white man. He gives us, let me show you. Well, read over verse.
Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
Now I'm going to show you why it's a mystery. Get me Revelation 12. It might.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
Meaning a great escape.
That she might fly into the wilderness.
We fled into Africa.
Into her place.
We came to America.
Where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time.
350 years.
From the face of the serpent.
The Bible says the serpent is nourishing us. That serpent, when you go to Deuteronomy 28 and 48 now.
Deuteronomy 28 verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger.
If you want food, you got to serve your enemies. Your enemies in this verse is the serpent in Revelation 12. That's nourishing us. Go ahead.
And in thirst.
In thirst.
And in nakedness.
You want clothes.
And in want of all things.
All things mean anything you want. Education, burial, babies born, education, religion. Whatever you want, you got to get from your enemy. Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
So y'all see that enemy there that's nourishing us is called the serpent in Revelation 12. This is why I always tell people, especially Christians, they want to start reading the book of Matthew and read on. Then they get to Revelation and are dumb as hell and lost. Then have you ever read from Genesis? No. I read about the apple. What apple? I ain't reading about no apple. You said they go by what some dumb preacher has been barking about for all this time. If they've just read Deuteronomy about Israel being nourished by their enemy, when you get to Revelation, it said they would be nourished by the serpent. It's the same exact thing. Back to chapter 17, please.
Revelation chapter 17 and verse 6. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered.
Wait, I'm sorry. Back to verse 5. I forgot. I was explaining mystery.
Verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great.
So now I wanted to pause there about mystery. It's a mystery because the same enemy that feeds us, clothes us, educates us, is the same serpent that feeds us, clothes us, educates us. So our people are quick to say, that's not Babylon. It's a mystery. Say, who's Babylon? Right. They go, Iraq. Ain't nobody over there in Iraq. Iraq trying to get over here.
Right.
People are crazy. So it's a mystery. Who is Babylon? The greatest kingdom on. That's why it's called the Great. Babylon. It don't say Babylon the worst. Babylon the great. Whatever you want, brothers, you can get it here. You want riches, fame, and fortune. You want women, you can get it here. You can't go to these other places and get that type of stuff.
Right.
You got to get it here.
When they hear out this Bible words like the man of sin, what do they think of? Saddam Hussein. They think of some man over there in the east. You understand? And when they see terms like the mystery of iniquity, they're saying the same thing here. Exactly. The real man of evil is a mystery to our people.
Exactly.
And he's showing you evil every day.
Yep. Yeah. Verse 5 again.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots.
The mother of harlots. Now, some of you might have a little number next to the word harlots. It says fornications. Mother of fornications, which is what we read in Wisdom of Solomon 14 about, what did it say? Spiritual fornication, which was idolatry and the corruption of life. Everybody with me so far? I don't want to lose y'all. Go ahead.
The mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
So that mother of harlots and yes, all that ties in with their little church, religious church systems, but it's really going with their political system. That's first and foremost, because they're the ones that are sent out to manipulate the nations and the countries of the world. Everybody with me so far? Go ahead.
And I saw the woman drunken.
I'll give you another example. Let me go back historically. Before America became America, when they were conquering Central America, the Caribbean islands, you had then Central and South America, then finally North America. What was their first line of defense? Who was sent in first? Only one brother knows.
They sent the Jesuit priests.
Right, they sent the Jesuit priests. Spain was sending Jesuit priests. The word Jesuit is Latin. It means crafty ones. In case y'all didn't know it, Giuliani was trained as a Jesuit priest. The Jesuit, those guys don't just sit and read scripture. They learn politics. A lot of y'all understand that upper echelon up there before America became, I'm talking about back then. Those dudes learned geography. They learned language. They learned military strategy. They went in. They were the eyes and ears for the countries that sent them. Which you had Spain, you had Germany, you had Dutch later on. They were all sending these religious people. So when America formed, a lot of those things like you read about Mother Teresa, that old bag. They are the eyes and ears, and they interviewed them. They sit them down. So what did you see when you were over there? Take notes. Where's this? And they have them write out maps and who's the leader, where's their weaknesses at. That's what they did. So now, right, Ignatius of Loyola.
Loyola.
Right.
I'll have to look him up.
Look that dude up. Right. So now America sends it, like when you read, you see in the news, what are these people called when they get caught over in Afghanistan? They say, oh, we were just tourists. No. In a war-torn country, you got tourists going on? No. These are CIA agents, FBI agents. That's who they are. Don't be fooled. That's what they're doing now. So now we're in verse 6, right? No, we're in verse 5. Verse 5.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
So now I want to prove further that Esau is Babylon. Give me Psalms 137. Because you know these Christians, they are set up and established to lie, to deceive the minds of the people. And they could push them through their TBN network and all of that. Little do they know that there's a spirit that God has upon us. And no matter how much money they got, they're getting overthrown. This word going out. Come on, Cap.
Psalms 137, verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, even to the foundation thereof.
Let's see what they call Edom right here, Esau.
O daughter of Babylon.
So God is calling Edom the daughter of Babylon. Everybody see that? Go ahead.
Who art to be destroyed. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us.
So Edom is the daughter of Babylon. Everybody with me so far? Now go back to Zechariah 2, where we started at the beginning of the lesson. Edom represents Babylon. Edom, that's the so-called Caucasian. Now Zechariah 2, 6 and 7, one more time. We read it earlier.
Zechariah chapter 2 and verse 6. Ho, ho, come forth and flee from the land of the north.
So the next clue, once you got Edom, now it says here, land of the north. Write this down, North America. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord, for I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heavens, saith the Lord. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon.
So Babylon would be the land of the north, and Judah and Israel would dwell with her. Everybody see that? All right, let's go back to Revelation 17.
Revelation chapter 17 and verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus.
So somebody might go, wait a minute. Wait. America didn't do that. You're saying it's America. I happen to know that they, through a theology school, that they were killed. The martyrs of Jesus were killed by Rome. Do we have a baby names book by Judith Chopia? We got that baby name book?
Just classical biblical baby names by Judith Chopia. Esau. It says, of interest. According to the commentaries on Hebrew scripture, Esau is considered a significant character in world history and the forefather of the Roman Empire.
So the Roman Empire is Esau. That's what the scholars know. Your Rhodes scholar, Judith Chopia, is a Rhodes scholar. So she wrote in this book, Esau was the Roman Empire. So now back to verse 6 one more time.
And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus.
So now the saints, who are the saints? Who are the saints? Right here. Yeah, you. The one that stood up. Yeah, you. Who are the saints?
It's Bishop Obadiah. The saints is Israel. Psalms 148:14.
Very good. Psalms 148:14. Wait, stay right there. All right. So that's correct. Y'all wrote that down. The saints are the Israelites. Psalms 148, verse 14. It says further on, and with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. No, it's saying two different things there. Where were they killed? The martyrs of Jesus. Where were they killed? The martyrs. Think. You know the answer. It's.
Repeat the question.
Where were they killed? Where? Who killed them? Who and where?
In Jerusalem, 70 AD.
Okay, very good.
The Roman killed them.
Well, you from even before that, when you read like in Acts 12, about they got Peter, killed John. Everybody with me so far? Okay. The point is, that's one race killing Israelites, right? One race being who? Esau. Okay. The saints is who? Israel. Israel didn't stop on that side of the world. The saints are over on this side of the world. When you read about the Indian Wars, for example, humor me for a second. The name Geronimo, they say he was a prophet. Geronimo is Jeremiah. It's the same name. They just changed the little letters. The same name. Many of what they called witches, give me some other words, or seers on this side, No, they didn't use that on this side of the world. Seers, prophets, shaman were prophets. But the white man says, no, change those words. Make them more scary. So people go, ooh, yeah, they was wicked. Those are the saints they were killing. Those are Israelites who knew they were Israel. Okay. When you read sorcerers, right? When you read the book by James Adair, he said the Indians that he witnessed in the 1500s were celebrating Israelite high holy days. He said, I don't understand this. He said, and they're saying Hebrew words, I don't get it. Then he realized those were Israelites. And they was not running around butt naked with spears and bones through their nose. That came much later. Much later. So now, read on. What verse we at?
Verse 6. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. And with the
So the woman is the white man. The woman is Babylon. Go ahead.
And with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration.
Come on.
And the angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman, and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns.
So the angel said, I'm going to tell you about that woman. I'm going to tell you about that great red dragon with 7 heads and 10 horns too. Go ahead.
The beast that thou sawest was and is not.
The beast that thou sawest was in your vision, but is not currently in existence. I'm going to say it again. The beast that thou sawest in your vision was, meaning was in his vision, but is not, meaning is not currently existing. Everybody with me so far? Go ahead.
And shall ascend out of the bottomless pit.
And shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, which is a region of area, which is Europe. I'm going to show you that. And shall what?
And go into perdition.
And perdition means what, brothers? Destruction. And shall go into hell, destruction. That's what the same thing. Shall this represents this beast shall be destroyed. It's meant to be destroyed. Everybody with me so far? Yes, sir. Okay. Right. Exactly. Read on.
And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. When they behold the beast that was and is not, and
when they behold the beast that was in your vision and is not currently living, and yet is. And yet is, meaning, let me see who got it. Let me see who think. And yet is. It was in your vision. It is not yet in power, but yet is. Jonah. We've discussed it earlier. I'm seeing who's thinking.
He's letting you know that it's a race of people that's around.
Right. What, Chinese?
No, Esau. The
right.
Edomites. Yeah.
They were who at this time?
They were Rome, yeah.
Right. You didn't know.
No. I knew.
Right. So when it says, and yet is, meaning Rome. Remember we read in Esdras about the last beast. What did I tell you? It starts off as Rome and goes to America. Mm-hmm. Mystery, right. Now we're at, what verse we at?
We're at verse 9.
Verse 9.
And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth.
So they Christians run around naming popes. Mm-hmm. This ain't talking about popes. This is talking about the 7 great empires of Esau. Go ahead.
And there are 7 kings.
There are 7 kings. Now, you remember who the 7 kings are, right? Greece. Come on, y'all say it. Greece. Very good. Read that again.
And there are 7 kings. 5 are fallen, and 1 is.
Wait. 5 are fallen, and 1 is. Now, the 1 is plain. Who's the one that is at that time? Rome. So the 5 that fell, write this down. Greece was not called Greece. Remember, the names were not what we call them today. Greece during the time, what you have to do, listen good what I'm about to say. Listen good. Y'all listen. I want y'all to listen good. This is about, John wrote this around 96 AD. It's called the 1st century, right? So what you want to do is find 1st century names of these empires. Greece's name was Achaia. Write that down. Achaia. France was called Gaul. Gaul. okay, or Aquitania. They had a slash there. Spain was called Hispania. Germany was called Magna Germania. And Russia was called Scythia. You wrote that down? First century names. Those are the first century. When you get up there in the Middle Ages, because a lot of times you Google these things, they'll take you back to like 1200 AD, where they're called the Ostrogoths, the Visigoths, the Franks. That's not the names they were called in the first century. Different. Okay, so now read verse 10 again.
Verse 10. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and one is.
The one is who, brothers? Rome. Okay, so the ones that fell, we got Greece, France, Spain, Germany, Russia. The one that is Rome. Then it says, and the other is not yet come. Who's that? Britain. Thank you, Great Britain, not America. Great Britain. Let's go through it again, because they just fell off the horse with that one. The one that is was Rome. The 5 that fell was Greece, France, Spain, Germany, and Russia.
How many is that? That's 5.
Plus the one that is was Rome. That's 6. No, there's one more, which is who? Great Britain. Are you writing down? Okay. What verse was that, Captain?
That was verse 10.
Read it again. Read it again.
And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and one is, and the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space.
So Britain must come and rule for a short space. Go ahead.
And the beast that was.
And the beast that was in your vision. Go ahead.
And is not.
And is not currently in existence.
Even he is the 8th.
Even he is the 8th. Go ahead. Here it come.
And is of the 7.
Wait a minute. And is of the 7th. The 7th was who? So who came out of Great Britain? America. Right. The War of Independence, 1776. So read it again, Captain.
And the beast that was and is not.
The beast that was in your vision and is not currently in existence.
Even he is the 8th.
Even he is the 8th head.
And is of the 7th.
And comes of Great Britain. Go ahead.
And goeth into perdition.
And goes where? Destruction. Everybody with me so far?
Do they have weapons that could bring on this destruction now? Did they have it during the time of Britain? Did they have it during the time of the other times that we're reading? So it's showing you how all the prophecies are coming together to show you that this is the one. Plus the red man is the one ruling. So he's the one that's going to fight against Christ and all that.
Exactly. Verse 12.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings.
So the 10 horns is who, brothers? 10 common markers, also called NATO. Another name for it? EU, European Union. It don't say Arab Union. Because I'm going to tell you why I said that. What color is this beast, brothers? Red. It represents who, brothers? Because these Christian commentaries will say China. They'll say Saudi Arabia. They'll say Iraq. I'm like, no. Egypt. I'm like, no. This is from one race of people. This is what these Christians do to deceive the people. Read it again now. Where we at?
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet.
No power, no authority as yet.
But receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
They receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. Now that 1 hour right there, that 1 hour. Just bear with me a second. Just bear with me a second. You're right, Tom? Just bear with me a second. When you read 2 Peter, because I was meditating on this thing. The scripture says, one day with the Lord. Can we get that? I was so confused. I had to call up Brother Solomon. He's a mathematician, because I said, you got to help me out here. My brain hurt. Can you read that? You got that for me? Yes, sir. I'm getting it now. 2 Peter 3, is it verse 8?
Verse 8. Verse 8.
But, beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day.
So now I'm trying to figure out 1 hour. You got 1,000 years is one day. Because we just read that it said, what did it say? But receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. So I said, well, how many hours is in a day? 24. So, all right, so 24 divided into 1,000 will get you what? Anybody good in here with math? You get 41 years, point something, something. Write that down. 41 years, point and some months after that, because it was, 6 something, something. Everybody wrote that down? Don't write me no email later on to me, I'm lost. I'm going to hit delete. All right, so let's read that again.
2 Peter 3 verse 8. But beloved.
No. Revelation. I want Revelation again.
Revelation chapter 17
verse 12.
And verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest,
which is the EU, go ahead,
are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
They receive power. 41 years. That 1 hour is 41 years. Read verse 13.
These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
So now you have to find out, well, meaning they would support America. They would support Babylon. So now you got to sit back and can we look up Abiel? Can we look up European Economic Community? Because that was the original name.
European Economic Community. The European Economic Community was a regional organization which aimed to bring about economic integration between its member states.
Y'all know what economic integration means between us? Integration means we share economics. Mm-hmm. Business, we share business. Remember, it don't say African. It don't say Chinese. This is European.
One currency, the euro.
Right. Go ahead.
It was created by the Treaty of Rome.
The key point, created by the Treaty of Rome. Go ahead.
Of 1957.
What year?
1957.
Go ahead.
Upon the formation of the European Union. In 1993, the EEC was incorporated and renamed as the European Community. In 2009, the EC's institutions were absorbed into the EU's wider framework, and the community ceased to exist.
So they brought them together. Read on.
The community's initial aim was to bring about economic integration, including a common market and customs union. Among its 6 founding members,
yes, 6 founding members,
Belgium, France, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and West Germany.
Now, the reason I told you Germany, because remember West Germany and East Germany did what? They eventually did what? They came together. So I know y'all was down. How you know that's part of the 10 This is it. Read.
It gained a common set of institutions along with the European coal and steel community.
Pause. I want to look up that European coal and steel community. So remember, they have an integration of economics. Europeans, y'all with me so far? Let's click that, Abiel, European coal and steel community. Just click it. All right, Captain Joshua, can you read that for us?
The European Coal and Steel Community, ECSC, was an international organization serving to unify European countries.
To unify who?
European countries.
White folks.
After World War II.
Uh-huh.
It was formally established by the Treaty of Paris, 1951, which was signed by Belgium, France, West Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and Luxembourg.
These are the same nations. Go ahead.
The ECSC was the first international organization to be based on the principles of supranationalism.
Supranational, meaning they have the world's power. Go ahead.
And would ultimately lead the way to the founding of the European Union.
Go ahead.
The ECSC was first proposed by French Foreign Minister Robert Schuman.
Robert Schuman, that's a French Amalek. Go ahead.
On 9 May 1950, as a way to prevent further war between France and Germany. He declared his aim was to make war not only unthinkable, but materially impossible, which was to be achieved by regional integration, of which the ECSC was the first step. The treaty would create a common market for coal and steel.
A common market for coal and steel. Go ahead.
Among its member states, which served to neutralize competition between European nations over natural resources, particularly in the Ruhr.
So he said, listen, if we share our understanding of coal and steel, there'll be no competition between us white folks, us Edomites. We will all share in this wisdom and this understanding. Go ahead.
The ECSC was run by 4 institutions: a high authority composed of independent appointees, a common assembly composed of national parliamentarians, a special council composed of national ministers, and a court of justice.
So now, wait a minute, pause right there. What do y'all think they need to share the science of coal and steel for? Coal and steel are 2 main elements used for what? Weapons. Whether it be tanks, guns, arsenal. Y'all with me so far? Let's go back to that first one, Abiel. Go ahead.
The community's initial aim was to bring about economic integration, including a common market and customs union.
So the economics was their buying and trade, their money system. Let's work together financially. Then they had a weapons union. Now remember, they dropped the bomb on who? Japan. They left them out of this. They said, listen, you ain't in this. You ain't down with us. Go ahead.
Among its 6 founding members, Belgium, France, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and West Germany, it gained a common set of institutions, along with the European Coal and Steel Community and the European Atomic Energy Community.
Let's click that. European Atomic Energy Community. Let's read that.
The European Atomic Energy Community, EAEC, or Euratom, is an international organization founded in 1957 with the purpose of creating a specialist market for nuclear power in Europe, developing nuclear energy and distributing to its member states.
So once they got that science, they shared it with their union states. Go ahead.
While selling the surplus to non-member states.
You want some uranium? We'll think about it. That's what they was doing. Okay, so now.
The European Union is a unique economic and political partnership between 28 European countries. But getting 28 countries across Europe to come together and agree on different issues isn't easy. So how did the European Union come about? To understand how the EU began, we have to go back in time almost 70 years. The world was a very different place then. The Second World War was over, but Europe had been devastated socially, economically, and politically. European leaders were determined that war should never happen again. On the 9th of May 1950, the French Foreign Minister Robert Schuman proposed that European countries should come together and pool the production of coal and steel. The idea was that countries who trade with one another are more likely to cooperate politically. In a practical but also richly symbolic way, the raw materials of war were being turned into instruments of reconciliation and peace. 6 countries, Belgium, Germany, France, Italy, Luxembourg and the Netherlands, came together in 1951 to create the European Coal and Steel Community. The 9th of May is now celebrated as Europe Day across the EU in honour of Robert Schuman. The next step in uniting Europe came in 1957, when the 6 countries signed the Treaty of Rome. This led to the establishment of the European Economic Community, or EEC, which saw increased economic cooperation and established a common market for goods and services. Ireland joined the EEC in 1973, along with Denmark and the United Kingdom. Greece joined in 1981 and was followed by Spain and Portugal in 1986. By 1995, membership had grown again when Austria, Finland and Sweden joined.
That's all I wanted. Let's go back now to Revelation 17. And I want 12 and 13 again.
Revelation 17 and verse 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
So these 10 common markers, which is the European Union, would support America. That we're living in that right now. Everybody understand what I'm saying? They shared. Remember, they got their kingdom. Once they got this understanding of Europeans sharing, integrating economics, sharing coal and steel understanding, and sharing atomic energy. It was all. That's when they got their power. They said, you know what? We some bad. We can do what we want. Watch this. Read on.
These shall make war with the Lamb.
Ooh, wait a minute. Who's gonna make who's gonna make war with the Lamb? Let's break it down a little more. Yes, Esau's too broad. Break it down a little more for me. What? Yes. You know why I want that? Because for some reason, people keep saying that the Arabs or Russia is going to be the ones fighting Christ. Now, I'm not saying they ain't going to be in the midst of it, but the main ones that's going to fight against Christ is read it. Let's just read it. Read it one more time.
Who got the most to lose?
Why? Read it one more time, Captain.
Yes,
read from verse 12, and let's go down.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
That power is literal. They're going to receive atomic power, economic power for 1 year, for 1 hour, which is 41 years. Don't ask me if it started in 1957. No, because that would have been passed already later on. I'll give you my thought on it later on. But go ahead.
These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful.
You know what's heavy about that? Give me real quick. Give me Obadiah, verse 1. Give me Obadiah. I gotta show y'all something. There was a common misconception when we came into truth. I gotta expound on it a little bit. Obadiah. I want y'all to take good notes. Take good notes. Go ahead. Where we at? Where'd I say go?
Obadiah, verse 1.
Watch this. You paying attention, Nathan? Go ahead. Why?
The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
So now the first thought when we were young came into truth. It was taught that the ambassador among the heathen was Gamal Abdul Nasser, who said, let's fight against Israel, and Israel beat and destroyed Gamal Abdul Nasser during what's called the 6-Day War. However, that is not and cannot be talking about Gamal Abdul Nasser, because what we're reading here in Obadiah, is not talking about the land of Israel. And as we read down, it's going to prove it. Read.
Verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised.
So the Edomites are greatly despised. He's going to get more specific in a minute. Go ahead.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
Remember, it said the proud times are ended. We read that earlier. Go ahead.
Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks.
Which means Caucasian, because that's where the term Caucasian comes from, the clefts of the rocks of Georgia, Russia. Originally, remember to write this down, because somebody might try to trap you up. But don't get stupid. Don't say they always lived there. They didn't always live there. Where did Esau live originally? Let me see who's reading. I need to see who's studying. I only see 3, 4.
Shalom. Mount Seir.
Right, Mount Seir. S-E-I-R. Write that down. That's the clefts of the mounts they lived in originally. And guess what? They were the dukes. They were the first dukes. They were not broke. They were not poor. They were wealthy. So now, let's go back to Obadiah.
Verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high.
That's why they like them skyscrapers and things. Go ahead.
That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
In order to ask that question, who can conquer me, you got to have what? Power. Go ahead.
Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
Now it's getting more specific. Who exalted themselves as the eagle? Right. It wasn't the land of Israel, which came in 1948. It's America. Watch. Come on.
And though thou set thy nest among the stars.
Did Israel set their nest among the stars? No, it's America. It's America.
You remember, before America, the other brother did not set no net among the star. America did it.
Right.
America did it.
So read verse 1 one more time.
The vision of Obadiah.
Listen good.
Thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle.
So rise up against who in battle of Edom? Who? America. America, not the land. It ain't talking about the land of Israel here in Obadiah. There are other chapters that mention Israel, but it ain't there. That's talking about rise up against America. Back to Revelation 17, please.
Revelation 17, verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful.
The angels, come on.
And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
These shall hate who, brothers? Who's the whore, brothers? America. The European Union shall hate America. Go ahead.
And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
Go ahead.
For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
So the prophecy says the European Union shall turn on America. We don't see, because everything look all peaceful. Right? They working together. Right. Everything looks hunky-dory with the European Union. Now, y'all see in the news, Greece is kind of upset. They said, how come our euro is failing? Pay attention to the news. The economy is faltering in Greece. Things is popping off in Europeans now. They're like, what's going on? Something ain't right. It is not, people misunderstand Ezekiel, write this down what I'm about to say. Ezekiel 38 is not, I'm going to say it again, is not talking about World War III. Ezekiel 38 is, I ain't going through it today, but it's going with Revelation, where is it at? 20 and 8. Y'all just write that down in your notes. That's talking about 1,000 years after the reign of Christ. That's Ezekiel 38. Now, now, does that mean that nobody else is going to fight in the Third World War but the EU? No. Give me that in 2 Ezra 13 and 30. Just to prove that. Yes, other nations will be there. Yes, the Arabs will be, yes. But the main major nations fighting will be the 10 horns, which is the European Union. Those are the power busters. Understand that. They did not share nuclear technology with all these other side nations. North Korea is still trying to make a bomb. They said they ain't made it yet. It can't reach over here. The power is with the Europeans, like we just read in verse. What verse was that? These have power. Revelation 17. What verse was that?
Verse 12 and 13.
Right. But receive power as kings went out with the beast. Verse 13. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. So they use all that knowledge of science and economic trade to support America. That's what's happening. Where we at, Captain?
You said 2 Ezra chapter 13 and verse
30.
Verse 30. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth.
That's talking about Christ, the second coming. Go ahead.
And one shall undertake to fight against another. One city against another. One place against another. One people against another. And one realm against another. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass. And the sign shall happen which I showed thee before.
Watch this. Go ahead.
And then shall my son be declared.
That's Jesus the Christ. Oh, let me say it in Hebrew. That's Yahushai, brothers. Go ahead.
Whom thou sawest as a man ascending. And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have won against another.
So everybody's going to stop fighting each other. Go ahead.
And in innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion, and Zion shall come.
What verse you at?
Verse 35.
Go ahead.
But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion, and Zion shall come, and shall be showed to all men.
Everybody's going to realize the ones they call niggas and spics, them's the Israelites. Now, watch this. Go back to Revelation 17.
Revelation 17.
And I want verse 14.
Verse 14. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful.
Jump to verse 16.
Verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
Listen to what I'm about to say. The next chapter, chapter 18, explains what happens when the European Union turns on America. Jump, chapter 18. I'm just getting. Somebody help me out here.
Verse 4.
I don't want to read all the way down. I just want the point. Let me hear verse 4. No. Give me 3. Nope. It says she's burned. I want
verse
the part.
18. Verse 18.
8th verse.
Oh, verse 8. All right. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her.
That goes back with what we just read in chapter 17 and verse 16. Read verse 16 of chapter 17.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
Go ahead.
For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will.
So God is going to use the European Union to destroy this place. He's going to put in their minds, destroy Babylon. Go ahead.
And to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled.
Now chapter 18 verse 8 again.
Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her.
Go ahead.
And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
Y'all see this? Go ahead.
And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over.
I want y'all to understand this crystal clear. The merchants of the earth are not dealing with the Vatican. This has nothing to do with Vatican City. These dumb Christians, and some of y'all be listening to them. This is talking about the United States of America. Everybody with me so far? This is the place where the merchants of the earth are buying and selling. This is the place of great economics. This place. Go ahead.
And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
When it says no man buyeth their merchandise anymore, it goes back to chapter 13, where if you didn't have the mark of the beast, you could not buy or what? It's talking about the merchants of the earth. The Bible explains itself. Something like, I'm going to read the Christian commentary. You got these dumb Israelites talking about, well, I just saw Alex Jones say, and Alex Jones said this. I just saw another video with Herbert W. Armstrong, and he says this or that. Stop it.
Bishop,
now,
what happened to Jade Helm? Remember that?
Yeah, that failed
you
too,
had that
Jade
camp talk, had all his men speaking about Jade Helm. You had people calling us, asking us about it, and we told you straight up, that's garbage.
Exactly.
And the day came, they gave a date that it was going to come from July to September, and y'all don't hear a peep out of it.
Exactly.
And some of y'all was scared.
Back to chapter 17, verse 13 and 14 again.
These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them.
Who's going to make war with the Lamb, brothers? The EU. Jump to chapter 19 now. It's explaining in order here. 17, 18, and 19 is going together. Come on.
Revelation chapter 19 and verse 1.
No, verse 11.
Verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. And he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. And his name is called the Word of God.
No, that says Yahushua right there.
And his name is called the Word of God.
Didn't it say Yahushua?
And his name is called the Word of God.
Go ahead.
And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of Almighty God.
So he's going to do a lot of stomping and killing. Go ahead.
And he hath on his vesture and on his thigh a name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And I saw an angel standing in the sun. And he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, Come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great God, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered.
So remember we read about the beast. It had 7 heads and 10 horns. Go ahead.
And I saw the beasts and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse and against his army. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet.
The false prophet is making reference to the Catholic Church. That's where, I don't like wording it like that. Christianity. Because you can't isolate, because that's what they do. They isolate the Catholic Church, put it to the side. Then they say Baptist is okay, Jehovah's Witness is okay. No, it's all one thing. Right. Let me see who's studying. Here it said the false prophet. In Revelation 13, what was it called? What was the false prophet called in Revelation 13? Let's try it one more time. If you mess up this time, forget it. Go ahead.
The image of the beast.
Very good. The image of the beast. That's talking about the false prophet, which is the religious Christian system. Okay. So back to Revelation. We were in chapter 19, Isaac? Yeah, good.
That's proof that it ain't just talking about the Roman Catholic Church and all that garbage, because all of those demonic religions, they all got Caesar in them. You go to Roman, Baptist, Christianity, Protestant, all of them. They all got that devil as Christ.
Revelation 19, verse 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark.
Let me see who's thinking. It said,
with which he deceived.
Wait, Isaac. It said the false prophet wrought miracles. Now, I told y'all something earlier, but nobody listened. Many times you try to separate, you allow society to try to separate church and state. I keep telling you, it's one and the same. Democracy is Christianity, is democracy. It's the same doctrine. All be one. So here it said the false prophet wrought miracles. In Revelation 13, I'm giving y'all hints, I'm giving y'all clues, I'm helping y'all studying. What are the miracles? Is it talking about and you're healed? Oh, my arm is healed. Look, in the name of Jesus, look. Is it talking about that? Okay, let's see. Brother with the red shirt, right there with your hat. Glasses, red shirt, you.
Shalom.
Shalom.
He's talking about the great fire.
What is that talking about?
I forgot the year, but it's when they dropped the bomb to...
Very good. When they dropped the bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, 1945. Write that down, 1945. What your job, brothers, is to make the Bible real to our people. So it's better, know a few dates. Throw some dates out there. So they go home and check it out. Oh, yeah, oh, shoot, that's right. Because for centuries, this demonic white man has made the Bible a fairy tale. Like Santa Claus and chimneys and reindeers. People got that Bible ain't saying nothing. You got the dumb Kemetic community. That Bible. The Bible is the realest thing on earth. The only real thing on earth. Ain't nothing like the real thing.
I like when Esau tried to say that the Bible is garbage. I said, but guess what? I can show you yourself.
There you go.
They don't like that thing.
Did we finish, Captain?
No, sir.
Where we at?
Revelation 19, verse 20.
Okay.
And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast.
The mark of the beast is going into their policies. I'm going to say it again. Their policies. Now, I'm going to say, because y'all just made a joke, Esau is trying to make a computer chip, but that ain't what this is talking about. The nations are not running around saying, chip me, chip me. The nations are following America's policy, and whoever does not follow America's policies, what happens, brothers? They cannot buy or sell. They say, shut the IMF? Yeah, this is your president. Shut it down. Shut it down. No buying, no trade, nothing. No, then put sanctions and embargo on them. So nobody can buy or sell from them. They mad. Everybody mad now. You ain't running with the chip. We ain't running with the chip. Nobody running with the chip except Herbert. Listen good. This is where they get it from. Herbert W. Armstrong, Jack Van Impe, Alex Jones is the most recent one. When y'all go home, check out Herbert W. Armstrong. I used to watch him when I was 8 years old. I knew about the chip back then. The chip, because that's what he was pushing. Okay? Jack Van Impe and his wife, Rexella. You remember her. Y'all could Google them, go on YouTube and check them out. They're saying about the chip. Same crap. What you got at the
Maccabees 8. I'm going to prove to y'all that it's the same thing. And Romans did the exact same thing. First Maccabees 8 and verse 26. No buying or selling. Watch. No business interaction with them when they don't cooperate.
First Maccabees chapter 8 and verse 26. Neither shall they give anything unto them that make war upon them, or aid them with victuals.
No food.
Weapons,
No
money.
weapons. Also, no weapons.
Money.
No money.
Or ships.
That goes into exporting and importing. Go ahead.
As it hath seemed good unto the Romans, but they shall keep their covenants without taking anything therefore.
So they call it just treaties. The treaty is broken. You put sanctions on you. There's no importing, no exporting. It's the same thing. The Romans did the exact same thing. It's in the Bible. Now show me chip in Maccabees. Where is that? Maybe it's in the Greek. Or I don't know, coin Greek. I don't know.
Watch this. Keep reading. Verse 29 is what I want to get to, but watch.
Neither shall victuals be given to them that take part against them, or weapons, or money, or ships, as it hath seemed good to the Romans. But they shall keep their covenants, and that without deceit.
Here come.
According to these articles, did the Romans make a covenant with the people of the Jews.
Y'all see that word? I'm going to show you the word for another word for policies in that verse is what's the word? Articles. Does America set up articles and things of that nature? You read that word all through the newspaper. This article number such and such, it goes into this, that, or the other. So during this time, we were trying to make an agreement with Rome, which they broke. That's when 70 AD was all about, and they killed us and destroyed us. Okay? So now, yes, Lapa.
The European has not shown his power to anybody. He has not shared his power. He showed his power to his brethren.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? That's why then when you're looking at the other nations, they will plague the other nations. They will abuse the other nation. That's why they said he ruled the earth with much oppression.
Exactly. All praises. Okay, so with that, was there something y'all wanted to bring out? Yes, go ahead. So today's class, I'm sorry, WW3, the EU versus America. That's the name of today's class. I always forget to give that.
This goes with the mark of the beast also that we was bringing out early on. Go to Revelation 17 and read verse 4. And then read verse 2.
Revelation 17, verse 4, then 2. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
So the abomination and the filthiness of her fornication, remember what we were just touching on early on, the mark of the beast. All right, so these things is the policies and the philosophies, the religion, all of that America push. All right, now read verse 2.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
So this is the same thing. This is the same thing. All right, the wine of her fornication, this is the same mark that they taking on, her policies. All right, it's the same thing it's saying from beginning to end. It's the same thing. All right, it ain't talking about a chip in your hand. It's talking about the abominations that America put out there that the people and them support, the policies.
Exactly. Can you pull up the eugenics tree for me? I just want to show some of these abominations, especially that works against our people. Okay. And now these are some abominations regarding look at anatomy, biology. All these things go against the word of God. Anatomy, biology, genetics, physiology, psychology, mental testing, I can't read that. History of geology, anthropology, ethnology, geography, law, statistics, politics, economics, biography, geology, sociology, education, religion, psychiatry, surgery, medicine. Remember, it said in that cup she had all kind of stuff in there. When it said, remember, where did we read that in Revelation 17? Read that for me.
Revelation 17, verse 4. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
So it's not one thing. Everybody understand that? It's not one thing. It says abominations, full of abominations, plural, and filthiness of her fornication. It's a whole lot of stuff America's dealing with, okay? How do you think America's able to deal with all the kings of the earth? They have to appease them in some shape, form, or fashion.
That's right.
Everybody understand that? Because the deal with Saudi Arabia, they don't follow Roman Catholicism. So there's something there, or China. They have to deal with them in some shape, form, or fashion, things that they allow economically or politically. Everybody understand that? So it's not one thing. I'm just looking for a computer chip, brother. That's all I'm looking for.
Yeah, but
you dummy.
Bishop, even though going to the chip side, you were talking about one person, but it's talking about nation doing trade. So how the hell they have to do with the chips? You don't buy, you don't get nothing. Niggas, you just from the project, you can buy those potato chips. McDonald's, they give you these to eat.
Right.
Talk about nation making big trade. Nigga talking about chips.
Right. The mark of the beast it ain't talking about us Negroes buying and selling. Us is out of the equation when the scripture talking about the mark of the beast. It's talking about nations buying and trading and so forth. That's what it's talking about. It's not the merchants of the earth. You understand? It ain't talking about us Negroes buying and selling. All right? It's talking about the merchants, the nations trading.
And in
America.
case you're still confused, jump over to chapter 18 and verse 11 again and read down.
Revelation 18 and verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Watch this.
The merchandise of gold and silver.
Brothers, let me tell you, that little gold and silver y'all got, that ain't the real gold and real silver. You got Negro gold and Negro silver. Go ahead.
And precious stones and of pearls.
And since of that cubic zirconian little thing you got, go ahead.
And fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all thyine, wood and all manner vessels of ivory and all manner vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour.
These are the things they were buying and selling. Go ahead.
And wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots.
Here it comes.
And slaves.
And what?
And slaves.
And what?
And slaves.
Go ahead.
And souls of men.
So, Mr. Negro and Latino, you're the slave. You're the souls of men being bought and sold. Our people is simple as hell. Buy the merchant ships.
Bishop, he including the trade doing to the other nation. Niggas who mentioned the chips, he's including doing the trade. You understand?
Our people is simple as hell.